All right, Shalom. I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua by Hashem Kakadash. Double honors to apostles of GMS and the sincere Shalom to the brothers out there pushing this truth and sincerity, and the Shalom to the elect. And I have here a video basically saying what we've been saying all this time, that BLM is nothing but BS. And it takes for the news to talk to another guy that's basically saying the same thing that we've been saying. At least he's saying majority of it, and for everybody to get it that this whole organization was just another front for money, just like any other organization before it. And these people, of course, at the end of the day, these people still won't get it. But you will more likely even some of the electors amongst there that will come out of that madness or anywhere else. Because before becoming this truth, all of us was in some form of madness. Maybe some bit more worse than others, but hey, it doesn't matter the scales or the tips of the scales. To come out of that, not any crazy thing that we was in, is sure as hell a blessing. Because we get to have the opportunity to serve under the Most High, to really get our salvation. So I'm gonna go ahead and play the clip real quick.
Good evening and welcome to Fox News Prime Time. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Lawrence Jones, and what a difference a year makes. Tomorrow marks the one-year anniversary of the death of George Floyd. In the weeks and months that followed, American companies did their best to prove how woke and committed they were to promoting diversity and social justice. Corporations were promising money left and right after George Floyd's death. $50 billion, in fact, was pledged to advancing racial equity in this country. That's billion with a B. Some of it was supposed to be donated to civil rights organizations, invested in communities of color, or put toward reimagining hiring practices at major corporations. And now, a year later, how much do you think was actually spent? Take a minute and guess. 80%? How about 50? 25? What if I told you that only half of 1%, $250 million, was actually spent by these companies in support of Black life? I bet you think their holier-than-thou pledges of generosity was a bunch of bull, that they were hollow virtue signals, and that Black communities and organizations were never going to get the support they were promised. Well, you'd be exactly right. The one group that did manage to get a whole boatload of cash was Black Lives Matter. They pulled in more than $90 million last year, but only managed to spend a quarter of it on charitable causes. The group's been so shady with the money that Tamir's rights mom begged the group to stop profiting off her son's death. That probably explains why, according to the New York Times, look at this, public support of Black Lives Matter has cratered since June 20. What a difference a year makes. Joining me now to discuss is Maj Toure, founder of Black Guns Matter. Maj, you always tell it like it is. So why is the support dropping?
The support is dropping because the people are following the money. A bunch of the money, Darren Seals told us before he was murdered, Black Lives Matter Incorporated is a sham organization designed specifically to fleece the Black community, has nothing to do with improving the conditions of Black America, and they the ops, period.
So Maj, so you got the organization, then you got the people that are on the street that have sincere calls for justice, but then you had the organization that got all the dough, making all these promises because they were pressured to do so. But when it came down to the nitty gritty, the community didn't see a lot of that dough. So the question is, will there be boycotts for these corporations, or will there be pressure to pay up? Because I want to see the dough.
You see, this is the problem with our people, is because they think a lot of this will be in their favor when they fail to understand that the society is not meant for us. There's no such thing as social justice when it comes to being the bottom of the food chain. It's about who has the money and who can make it in here to serve their cause. This is Isaiah 14 and 20. I'm sorry, Slocky. This is Isaiah 42 and 22. It says, "But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes. They are hid in prison houses. Therefore a prey, and none delivereth." So with all the things that's been going on for how long we've been in this place, these people act like slavery ended. When slavery never ended. You went from a physical slavery to a mental slavery. Even then, with this mental slavery, you got a physical slavery because you got to still slave, but you still got to slave over and work, do jobs for lower pay, and then on top of that, a lot of people's deaths is not coming from usually coming from old age. That a lot of people's deaths are coming from other things such as getting shot, getting beaten to death, having any type of disease, getting sick, dying from any other thing. And yet these people find any excuse to say this place is great, all this is that, and meanwhile this is a cesspool where everybody's got a slave, and these people don't understand it. So when you read back up to where it says, "But this is a people robbed and spoiled," these people have been robbed of their minds, and they've been spoiled with the philosophies, the ways, the ways of thinking like this place. Like these people just don't have the understanding in them, and that's why I said earlier that we pray that the elect comes out of any madness, whether it be in BLM or from any other crazy thing that we've been brought up in, because this life in general has been crazy. So I'm gonna keep going with the video.
Yeah, I don't want the boycott. The black community want the money. Y'all said that money was supposed to be for our community. You said it. You plastered the Black Lives Matter. Let me go back a second. Yes, we know that Black Lives Matter as a reality, obviously, right? And some people in America wanted to pretend like that wasn't the case. So I want to make that clear distinction between the people doing legitimate work, community work, and the incorporation that funneled. This was a money laundering scheme. If I, as Black Guns Matter, we raised and gave away over the last 4 years, we do work in firearm safety and suicide prevention and conflict resolution in Black communities for the last 4 years. We've raised $410,000, give or take, and I've been very transparent with the money. Can you imagine if I'm at conservative tables? Can you imagine how they would have crucified me if I only spent a quarter of that $400,000, a quarter, 25% of it on this stated purpose? No, it was a money laundering scheme, and a whole bunch of that money, don't want to get anybody in trouble, but yes, I do. A whole bunch of that money was funneled to the Democratic Party and Joe Biden and his team's whole scenario. That's where the money at. Follow the paper. That's why the plummet has happened amongst the Black community. You see it.
So you got that aspect. Then you have the other aspect of them saying, look, we're going to hire more Black folks in those communities. We're going to put more businesses there, do the work, not just crops. We're going to put big business in these communities, and we're going to make sure that we're going to hire Black people. That didn't happen either.
You see, they tell it's straight like it is. This is these people so caught up about the community. The community is the way it is, or is even put there because of Esau. We don't actually have a community in this society because it's basically non-existent. When have you actually ever had a community that actually helped Jake in all of history of this place? Never. Because a lot of communities, was towards gangs. And then you just had the simple ghettos where you just had Jake killing each other either way. And then you just have the what's the word I'm thinking of? I can't remember the other one. But you have I'm sorry, that you have the actual genuine Jake that actually do care about their people, but can't find any way to go about it because they was being brought back down. Because Esau doesn't allow us to feel good unless he's the one doing it. This is 2 Peter 2:18. It says, "For when they speak great swelling words of vanity, they allure through the lust of the flesh, through much wantonness, those that were cleansed escape from them who live in error." And we are the ones of the hopeful elect that escape from that madness. Because like these guys, we be upset like them, be like, where's the money at to help all the black people? Well, this is one of Esau's antics. For when it says, for when they speak great swelling words of vanity. And even ultimately, this is even going towards our own people because Esau sets up our own people to be the face of all that mess. To say that, oh yeah, we're going to do this for you, we're going to do that for you, and that even goes to other Israelite camps that's doing the same thing. But it all ties back to Esau as well, because guess what? He influences these things. He speaks these great words. But like, yeah, we're gonna give you the money. Only give you what do you say? A half of 1%? That wasn't much. What about the rest of the money? And then you got our simple people that gets hired by Esau to promote doing these things, such as going out riding, calling it a peaceful protest. Meanwhile, somehow, randomly, all the time in these peaceful protests, not only does a riot break out, but Jake starts fighting and killing each other amidst these breakouts, these riots. So this has just been nothing but ensuing chaos to make our people feel even harder. Because guess what? They only in it for the money, and they only did it because they got something to do. They got to go around bashing stores and just do whatever. Meanwhile, the main target they're supposed to be going after, he's just chilling inside the place. He's just chilling there. You're not going. These people don't go after them. They just going after the stores. Like, is that supposed to do anything? It goes to show you how set up and messed up and stupid this whole scenario is. It says, this is verse 19. It says, while they promised them liberty, they themselves are servants of corruption, for of whom a man is overcome, of the same as he brought in bondage. So, as much as these two are just attacking BLM in general, because we know where it all stems back to, because they got so caught up in the cause of the supposed cause that was the image or the illusion of what it is, that they feel that to go after the fact that the leaders, which even goes ultimately back to the elites, that this was all a game. But they are mentioning that this was a sham just for money. But what were these guys telling that last year? What was the guys telling that the year before? It's no wonder that these guys have even from the start of it, going back in 2015. I forgot what the guy who died in that year, but they had a small riot, then they disappeared. Then all of a sudden, they randomly choose one guy that dies. All of a sudden riot. Where's the riots every day for the list of other Jakes that's not only getting shot and killed by the police, but getting shot and killed by their own people? These people don't question these things, nor do they care, because again, as this guy's saying, they're only in it for the money.
This from the same group of people that paid to destroy the businesses in them same communities. My community. They busted a gang of people that wasn't from there, incorporated, not the people that live there. We've seen scores of people over the last year stopping people from doing things in communities, saying, hey, you don't live here. We're here about a peaceful assembly. We're here about a peaceful protest. People getting busted in with a lot of money that came from somewhere to destroy those businesses in the first place. This is the let me create the problem, let me present a solution so you run to me as your savior. Black Lives Matter Incorporated.
And see, that's where this scripture comes in handy as well, because this is Micah 2:1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. And see, what he's saying is that the people that funded these guys to go break into all these places, as he said, let me create the solution. Let me create the problem to come with a solution. This is what Esau's always been doing. Before even this, he's even done it several times during our captivity here, such as moving us from one slavery to another. All right, you guys done built our city. You done got beaten enough. Okay, you're done with that problem. We come with a solution to send someone to bring you back over to the other side for a better slavery. You get to work, you get the nice house, you get to do what you want to do while still being a slave. This is the same scenario. Or we could go even further, where what's currently going on with this pandemic, or even other viruses even beforehand. Whereas the CDC, the Center of Disease Control, if it's the Center of Disease Control, you should be controlling all the diseases, or at least majority of them, so we don't end up getting diseases like that here. But no, when you look online, you see a whole list of diseases that this place has that is still going around. So create a problem to come with a solution. Oh, you got sick? Okay, yeah, these pills ain't working. Fine, here goes this jab. You can take that. Meanwhile, you're still getting sick from it.
Not the people, not the rank and file black community that's doing the work. Black Lives Matter Incorporated is a money laundering scheme, and they better get that bread right.
So here's the rub. We know this. The community knows this. The community has been going after Black Lives Matter for a while. They say we're small, but we're not supporting the organization. We just want equal justice under the law. So the community knows this. They've been pushing back against that. You can name after name. Breonna Taylor's family, Tamir Rice's family. They have been very vocal about this. So the question is, who's giving the money to these groups? Are they white liberal companies? Because Black America is already having the conversation. So who's trying to feel good?
The Honorable El-Hajj Malik El-Shabazz, Malcolm X, said, the white liberal is the most dangerous thing to the Black American ever. Yeah. White liberals are behind and funding this anti-family, anti-nuclear family unit, anti-strong father in the household movement that has been morphed into something that has been very detrimental for our community. If you want to tell me that, hey, we're going to be helping you, but we have to control all of the money, we got to funnel it through Act Blue, I question you. The money will make a man change gods. And if we keep following that money, we're going to see all of the white liberals and a sprinkling of some of the black folks that bought $1 million homes off some of that bread.
Yeah.
Right. We're going to see that. But nah, the liberals is running that, and that ain't for the hood no more. We got our own work to do. You want to support something? Support Black Guns Matter. We actually do what we say we're going to do with the money.
Yeah. We're going to keep following this because I like following the money. I like looking at the receipts and seeing who paid up.
What he has to understand is the white liberals are actually the elites. But as he mentioned, you got some of the black faces that's mingling into it. Because guess what? We could go back to it, which was 2 Peter 2:19. While they promised them liberty, they themselves are service corruption. So them black faces you see are your usual black leaders that supports and it's pretty much your little experiment jockeys or experiment guinea pigs that be doing whatever master tells them to do. Because why else would it? Why else would it be something like that? This is Jeremiah 2:11. It says, "Hath a nation changed their gods, which are yet no gods?" Because Esau ain't no god. He's a fucking devil in itself, who's playing God. Which, when you go in further, it means his money. His money ain't had no real value. That's why he can't use the gold, but he uses paper instead. So why if he was a god, you could use the gold, but instead he wants to get paper currency. That has no real tradition. That has no real value in general. It says, "But my people have changed their glory for that which have doth not profit," which is even selling themselves for this money that's not going to give them that's not going to change anything. It's not going to say, it's not going to bring salvation to our people. It's not even going to change the living condition of our people. Of anything, the money of this society will make everybody worse. Can you imagine niggas in the hood actually owning things, or I'm sorry, even having a mansion? They wouldn't know how to take care of that. If they see another guy, if they see another Jake next to him with a bigger mansion, what makes you think he ain't gonna try to go up there and shoot the guy up and take not only just the house but his money with it, and then try to do the same thing to all the rest of the Jake that was in the hood with him, and do the same thing and rinse and repeat. Everybody be trying to kill each other because oh, they got more money than me, type of deal. It's no different. It says, let me get rid of this. It says, "Be astonished, O ye heavens, at this, and be horribly afraid. Be very desolate, saith the Lord." It says, "For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me for the fountain of living waters, and hewed them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water." Which means they can't even hold up in their own living arrangement. If you want to think about it, but even with they can't even keep up on money. You work day to day to work little money. You got to pay bills, electric bills, gas bills, water bills. You got to pay for rent. You got to buy food and everything else, and then rinse and repeat every 2 weeks. And then all of a sudden you got to wait a whole year to get your taxes back. And then you got to rinse and repeat, because you know full well that money's going to be gone hella quick. It's a revolving door. It says, "Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled?" Hell, I don't even need to break that one down. Because you look at our people today, and I don't care who tries to deny it, our people are definite slaves in this society. We see how easily they flock to Esau for any problem, whether they angry at him or they love him. This whole BLM thing is a proof of that, because they ain't trying to, as I say every time, they ain't trying to take down the so-called white man. No, they just trying to get his approval and love of, what is it again? Social justice? As if that's going to change anything. I'm sorry, as if that's ever been a thing in a society. It's never social justice with us, but like, leave it up to Esau. If something happens in a white neighborhood, oh, they be the police be all over that place trying to figure out who did it. But with us, they take about a whole 2 hours before they get here, before they even try to even attempt to do anything about something. So what was this social justice you people are talking about? Because it certainly was never a thing. It was certainly never a thing. All of you so-called black people are just slaves in this society. This is why we have so many issues in general. So that's pretty much all I wanted to go into. Lord, one of this was at least edifying. With that, shalom.